morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant. We will now be talking to our on-field reporter Chaitra Bhattrai, who is giving us live updates about the third day of the lockdown. Chaitra, can you hear me? Chaitra, can you hear me?
Yes, Sushan, good morning, I can hear you. Hello?
Yeah, so Chaitra, what do you see today on the third day of the lockdown? Is it any better or is it any worse than yesterday?
I think, Sushan, today's the third day of the lockdown, and as you can see, I'm standing at Gausala Junction right now. I'm standing absolutely at the opposite of Metropolitan Police Range Gausala, and I can see that it's getting more and more severe. All I can see is you can see as well there is a metropolitan sweeper right here sweeping the streets. There's some police personnel standing here. No private vehicles at all. I can see some of water supplies, I can see some of the water supply vehicles running around, and that's it. I think it's getting more severe today. Sushan.
Chaitra, so I can see a few vehicles on the streets. Have you seen traffic police apprehend anyone for defying the lockdown?
Not exactly, Sushan. Yes, they have been questioning each and every private vehicle that has been passing around from here, but I did not see anyone getting apprehended. They have been getting questioned, but then, yes, I can see a few travelers over here, a few strollers, I must say. Maybe they're going to take the essential supplies, but I've also talked to the traffic police and I've talked to the police personnel over here, and they told me that no one yet has been apprehended over here for breaching the lockdown. And they also told me that they do not have a credible data to give me right now regarding how many people have been apprehended today for breaching the lockdown, Sushan.
Okay, Chaitra, so I can see that there are vehicles plying there, but it looks like there are no shops open. The government was very clear that grocery and essential shops will be open today. For me, I cannot see any grocery shops open there. Do you see them, or are there any shops that are open there?
Indeed, Sushan, although grocery shops are closed right here at the Gausala Junction, while I was traveling, I could see a lot of food stores, I could see a lot of fruit shops. They were open today from the morning, and I could also see passers-by going to the shop, and they were taking some food supplies. You can see as well a lot of water supply vehicles have been running around as well. So although it might not be visible over here, the grocery stores, they are quite open. I mean, a lot of them are open if we compare to the statistics or data yesterday, Sushan.
Chaitra, final question. Have you been able to get any official information from the traffic police that are standing on the streets trying to protect the lockdown? Have you been able to get any official information from them?
Well, Sushan, I have talked to some of the traffic police. I've also talked to the police personnel as I'm standing right in front of Metropolitan Police Range Gausala. They've clearly told me that till now, for today, the third day of lockdown, they do not have any official data regarding the apprehensions or regarding the total number of vehicles that have been confiscated by the police for now. But however, they have been very strict about people walking in the street, and they have been very strict about people wearing masks. They also did question me about why I was not wearing a mask. So yes, they're doing their job very better. They're doing their job perfectly, Sushan.
Chaitra, have you been able to talk to any local persons in and around the area walking in the streets, and have you been able to understand what is their opinion about the lockdown that has been imposed by the government?
Well, I did talk to a few of them, Sushan. That's a very good question. I did talk to them and I did ask about their opinions regarding the lockdown. Some of them told me that it's important, it's essential for, the containment of coronavirus. But some of them also told me that, it's difficult for people who earn money every day and who have to provide supplies to their family on a daily basis. They told me that probably the government should bring more essential steps or more effective steps in order for these people to get their groceries done, or for the food supplies to be more smooth and efficient, Sushan. Yes.
While on your way to the Gausala chowk that you are in, have you been able to notice any activities by the government officials? I've been hearing news about micings being done on the streets to make sure people are aware about the lockdown. Have you been able to see any of that?
Oh, well, I did see government vehicles passing by, so I could see that the government employees have taken the government directive to go and work, every day as in a regular basis seriously. But other than that, I did not notice or I did not witness any micings by the government, or any micings, or, all these kinds of awareness programs by the police or by the traffic or any other government employees. But I did notice quite a few government vehicles passing around. Sushan.
Thank you very much, Yutsa, for these updates. We were talking to Yutsa Batra, our on-field correspondent for Janata Television. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. And now the news in detail. A third person was tested positive for COVID-19 in Nepal yesterday. According to the state-run Rashtriya Samachar Samiti, Information Officer at the Ministry of Health and Population, Ganesh Srivastav, confirmed the new case yesterday. Srivastav added that the infected person has been receiving treatment at an isolation ward of Sukraraj Tropical and Infectious Disease Control Hospital, Tegu. Detailed information about the person is yet to be collected. This is the third confirmed case of the deadly COVID-19 in Nepal. Earlier, a 19-year-old Nepali student who returned home last week from France had tested positive for the virus on Sunday. There were concerns that other persons who returned to Nepal along with the infected person in the same flight via Qatar might also have contracted the disease. The government officials have said they are trying to trace all the persons on board the plane and test them for coronavirus, which has spread to almost every country of the world and killed over 18,000 people. The first case of coronavirus in Nepal was recorded in January when a Nepali student returning from Wuhan of China, where the virus is believed to have originated, tested positive. He has already recovered and returned home, according to government officials. The government is preparing to open the border with China for the import and export of goods. A meeting of the high-level committee to prevent coronavirus yesterday decided to open the customs point in the northern frontier. The border with China has also been closed since the last 2 months. The committee has allowed the movement of goods between the two countries from Rasuagari and Tatopani customs point. However, the authorities concerned have been strictly ordered to follow the health protocol. The two customs points had been closed after China reported increase in case of coronavirus in late January. Nepali importers had complained that their goods were stuck across the border due to the shutdown. The government's decision to open the border for cargo transport comes after the Chinese government's request to resume trade between the two countries. The decision of the Council of Ministers on Monday to close the international borders of Nepal was aimed at curbing the movement of people, but the flow of goods was not restricted. The government has decided to facilitate the return of foreigners facing the brunt of lockdown in Nepal. The meeting of the high-level committee to prevent coronavirus yesterday decided to airlift the foreigners stranded in different parts of the country and bring them to the capital. The rescued foreigners will be sent back to their respective countries from the airport itself. The foreigners will be kept in quarantine at hotels near the airport until their flights gets fixed. The tourists will have to bear their own expenses while staying at the hotels. Around 300 tourists are reportedly stranded in Lukla. Likewise, 6 tourists are struck in Manaslu area. According to the media coordinator of the Trekking Agencies Association of Nepal, Simbar Ghale, there are lots of tourists stranded in different parts of the country due to the nationwide lockdown. Foreign missions to Nepal have started showing concerns to trace their citizens stranded in the country. Around 10,000 tourists who arrived in Nepal in March are yet to return back, according to the records maintained by the Department of Immigration. Supreme Court has refused to issue an interim order against the government's decision to shut down border points and restrict international flights as an attempt to contain the coronavirus outbreak. A single bench of Justice Dambar Bahadur Shai has collected both the government and the petitioners for another discussion on April 6th, citing the court needs further clarity on the issue before issuing an interim order. Earlier, a writ petition had been filed by advocate duo Meena Basnet and Madhav Basnet challenging the government's decision to shut down the borders and ban the international flights would be in violation of basic human rights. Advocate duo demanded the court to issue an interim order directing the government to open the borders and operation of international flights. Nepal Telecom has decided to give cent% bonus to its customers for top-up. The state-owned telecom company took a decision to this effect to facilitate its customers who are facing trouble to top up balance in their accounts due to the lockdown imposed by the government. The government had imposed a nationwide lockdown for a week starting from Tuesday to contain the spread of coronavirus in the country. The bonus facility will be available starting from Wednesday midnight. Nepal Telecom Authority had instructed the Nepal Telecom on Tuesday to provide the bonus account considering the problems faced by the customers in getting out of their homes for top-up. Nepal Telecom's Managing Director Diliram Adhikari confirmed that the company has decided to provide 100% bonus on top-up. According to Adhikari, the bonus amount can be utilized for data and SMS services. However, the charge for telephone calls and SMS outside Nepal Telecom's network will be deducted from the main balance. And now the news from the economic front. Petroleum dealers of Nepal have called for providing petroleum products only for essential service providers. President of the Petroleum Dealers Association of Nepal, Lilendra Prasad Pradhan, said that fuel stations have been urged to supply petroleum products only for very essential purposes as per the government's request. RSS reported. According to him, the fuel station owners within the Kathmandu Valley have also been asked to put up notice with this message outside their petrol stations. He said the vehicles used for very essential services issued permits by the government can refuel at any petrol station in the Kathmandu Valley. According to Pradhan, fuel stations have sufficient amount of petrol in stock. And now the news from the international arena. Gunmen and suicide bombers raided a Sikh religious complex in Afghan capital of Kabul yesterday, killing 25 people, Reuters reported, citing government officials. According to the news agency, Afghan security forces killed all of the attackers. The Islamic State militant group claimed responsibility for the attack in a statement. Sikhs have been the target of attack by Islamist militant before in South Asia. Their community in Afghanistan numbers fewer than 300 families, according to Reuters. The Interior Ministry of Afghanistan said 25 people who had been in religious compound had been killed, 8 wounded and 80 rescued. In the late 1980s, there were about 500,000 Sikhs scattered across Afghanistan, many from families that had been there for generations. but most of them fled after years of civil war and the rise of the Taliban. And now some news from the sports arena. Roger Federer has joined the list of sports stars helping out the needy during the coronavirus pandemic, according to a news report published by Reuters. The former world number one and his wife have donated 1 million Swiss francs to vulnerable families in his native Switzerland. Barcelona forward Lionel Messi and Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola have donated 1 million euros each to help clinics and medical centers fight the outbreak. According to the news agency, Portugal and Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo and his agent Jorge Mendes also came together to donate life-saving equipment to Portuguese hospitals. These are challenging times for everyone and nobody should be left behind, Federer wrote in a statement posted on Twitter yesterday. Globally, more than 420,700 people have been infected by the novel coronavirus and 18,820 have died, according to Reuters tally. Switzerland has nearly 9,900 confirmed cases with 122 deaths. Federer, a 20 times Grand Slam winner, is currently recovering from a knee surgery he underwent last month and was targeting a return in June in time for Wimbledon. The tennis season is, however, suspended until June 7 due to the pandemic. And that's all from the English Bulletin for today. You can follow Janata Television and our social media platform on JanataSamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to make sure they follow the government directives and WHO hygiene standards to protect themselves from the coronavirus pandemic. Keep watching Janata Bulletin. Thank you very much.